To lead is one thing. Everyone can do that if they take the initiative. But I don't mean lead a large crowd or a massive group of people. Take a look at sports teams. Team captains inspire with their skills, their interactions with their teammates, and the content of their character. And the way they act, talk, and behave will be noted when interacting with people as well because of their title. The way these captains communicate and work with their teammates makes these people successful as leading figures. This is what leadership essentially is. It is not only to have the ability to lead, but to keep a group, a team together and to move forward as a unit because your results are a direct reflection of your team's quality and the strength of your character. Now, when it comes to leadership, you aren't just born with the ability to lead. You lead based on your experiences and judgment. For me, it started in middle school. Without paying attention to someone's race, ethnicity, or religion, I made friends because of our similarities. Teachers, on the other hand, were a little bit different. A teacher of mine asked me if I was Muslim in front of the entire class and proudly told her that I was, in fact, Muslim. But the kids that I talked to, or once talked to, began avoiding me. I never understood why. I still don't. Terrorist. That was a one word that burned inside of my head. It frustrated me beyond words. Whenever kids would come up to me, say it, and giggle as if it was some sort of childish joke. To them, it was funny. To me, it wasn't just an insult, it made me rethink my entire identity. I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to be associated with my religion anymore. Soon I moved on to high school, which was a whole other beast that I needed to conquer. My survival guide came in the form of MSA, the Moon Stars Association. A childhood friend of mine talked about the club, a place where everyone can just be openly Muslim. An inclusive club? A hub where I can meet other peoples like me? It sounded bizarre. Little did I know it would become a huge part of my high school life. Islam in the media is plagued with misconceptions. Instead of knowledge being spread about my religion, there is fear. And because of that fear, people judge Islam. For every upcoming class, the freshman students repelled against going to the club because they assumed they had to be devout Muslims. MSA clears up those views by bringing people of all religions to combat these hurtful stereotypes. To fuel this vision, the club officers and I took collective action, working tirelessly to reach out to hire volunteer and charity organizations for our cause. To the school, MSA was just another club. To me, it allowed me to resurface my identity. But most importantly, this was where I dipped my toes in leadership for the very first time. If there's one great thing about being on a board with other students, is that it teaches you responsibility, but on a professional level. Through the difficulty of representing MSA, I was introduced to my three guiding principles of leadership: confidence, outreach, and character responsibility. The first principle is radiating confidence. This is the ability to have a presence in a room. You need to know what you're doing, even if you have to fake it, despite any kinks and faults in your planning. A friend of mine always mentioned that the president of MSA was so warm and welcoming and that she joined the club despite not being Muslim. The president's jovial attitude was crucial in making MSA a community for Muslims and non-Muslims alike. As I walked into my very first meeting, I was captivated by my friend walking up and down the aisle, moving his hands as if he was giving some sort of pep talk. Even the other club members had respectfully parted into two sides of the room, creating an aisle in the middle for my friend to speak. He just talked with this inspirational tone, a commanding voice, a presence that caught everyone's attention. No one talked when he was speaking, not even a single side conversation. It was truly remarkable. But what caught me off guard was that he openly talked about Islam, and people of all faiths stayed and listened. Ever since middle school, I was taught to keep my religion private, that I had to keep it to myself. But what I saw on that day gave me a new sense of confidence that I didn't have to be shy of my own identity. And I thought, if he can do it, I can do it too. There's no point in being scared. But it wasn't just him talking about my religion openly that taught me not to be scared. It was his confidence to lead. If you don't have confidence in yourself, no one will follow you. No one will help you attain that feeling of being confident. You have to find confidence within yourself, even if you have to fake it at times. The second principle is outreach. This is probably one of the most critical aspects of leadership. It's the ability to reach out on behalf of your organization or club and collaborate with other organizations. This way, you don't have to rely on the school to support your mission. You can work with others to accomplish it. This opens up numerous pathways to connections, donations, and event venues. It was critical to reaching out to other MSAs throughout the region, such as Piscataway High School, North Brunswick High School, South Brunswick High School, and J.P. Stevens High School. This gave us a network hub where we would reach out to each other for assistance, advice, and of course, joint events. Similarly, we would reach out to charity organizations such as Helping Hand USA and ICNA Relief, which stands for Islamic Circle of North America, who in return would give us volunteer opportunities and allow us to run soup kitchens and clothing drives. Raising $25,000 for a charity event, our collective action reached families, communities, and undeveloped nations. That's the strength of outreach. The final principle is character responsibility. It's being accountable for what you say and do, and how you treat others. We are taught to forgive from a very young age. It is a skill necessary for building trust in relationships. Ultimately, forgiving leaders encourage dissenting voices in a community, further advancing their vision. After school, I would often arrange a spot for people who wanted to pray in the corner of the breezeway before an MSA meeting. People would pass by every so often, but there were multiple times after the prayer that a group of students came up to me and asked sarcastic questions like, "Are you praying to Allah?" Of course, the only thing that I could do was smile and ask if they wanted to come to MSA. They would laugh and just shake their heads and leave. One time, when I was alone in the hallways, the same group of people came to me and asked, "Are you going to make bombs for the school? Are you going to blow up the school?" Of course, this irritated me, and patiently I asked once again if he and his friends would like to come to MSA that week so that they could see what we really do and really learn about us. They yet again laughed and walked away. I realized one thing. There will be there will always be ignorance no matter where you are. You are the walking ambassador of what you represent, even if there will always be those who will not take you seriously. It was here that I learned that it is necessary to hold one's tongue and not let it go rogue. Do not hurt your reputation based on the hurtful words you might want to say. It is not worth it. In all my years of being in leadership, that was the one thing I learned. Forgiving may not be easy, but it will only help you grow and as a result, help your team and club grow. Leadership comes with something I call character responsibility. When someone knows you are part of the leadership for something, you are automatically looked at a little bit differently. You are scrutinized, and every one of your actions are noticed. You are the walking ambassador, and based on your character and actions, will they assume your club's quality? How you interact with people, how you talk, and how you act are considered. You are the walking ambassador of what you represent. So be a good one. So, after covering all of that, I want to restate my guiding leadership principles. So, if you dozed off at some point, here's what I want you to get out of my talk. Confidence. You will always need to show off that you are confident. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Outreach. The ability to reach out on behalf of your organization or club and collaborate and communicate with outside entities is a very relevant skill. Character responsibility. Be mindful of your character, how you interact with people, how you talk, and how you act are all considered. You are the walking ambassador of what you represent, so please be a good one. Like all things in life, leadership is complex. Leadership is not telling people what to do or holding meetings. It's about moving forward as one. It is best to keep your leadership determined and self disciplined, and that is only achievable through a clear goal. That's how we progress a team.